This game takes going nuclear quite literally. It may come as a surprise to you, but this is the most complex game made by id Software in the better half of the 90s. Forget about Wolfenstein 3D, Doom and Quake. Released in 1991, Hovertank 3D is the one. Sure, later id Software made games that were more technically advanced, had better aesthetics, but when you look past all the blinking, then you will notice that Wolfenstein 3D, Doom and Quake were basically consecutive iterations of the same basic idea. Go through a level to reach a button at the end, and optionally shoot everything that moves as you do it. Yes, you could find secret rooms on your way, and some stuff in them. There were doors that required keys, levers to be moved, etc., but fundamentals would remain the same. Find and press the button at the end. Boring. So how is Hovertank 3D different? Released by Softdisk via Gamer's Edge, it displays all the typical qualities of an early id Software game. Rough around the edges, but overall quite interesting. First, you have the technical innovation. In this case, it is the 3D engine that allows for smooth movement in 3D environment. That was a big deal at the time. Second, you have a nice artwork. I mean, when you actually have artwork, it looks good. Nice monsters, good death animations, and so on. This brings life to otherwise sterile levels. And last but not least, you have a nice story that wraps this together in irony and sarcasm. This part would later be more and more marginalized at id, especially after Tom Hall's departure. So what is this game about? You take control of the titular Hovertank operator in the series of rescue missions given to you by your handler. Each missions follow the same schema. You are teleported to an area where you have to locate and collect people before they get killed by mutants. Leaving people behind is not an option. You are not allowed to leave unless everybody is either safe or dead. If that wasn't enough, you are operating under a strict deadline. And deadline is understood quite literally here. When the time runs out, the whole site is nuked. I mean, that's kind of harsh, isn't it? There are three types of enemies here. A red demon, a bulk monster that will punch you in the face, or rather in the visor of your tank. It takes 3 punches to destroy your tank, so either those punches are extra hard, or your hover tank is more or less hover than a tank. Then you have a green squid that is, well, green, and is hovering in midair. And lastly, there are other tanks, presumably from your competition. Those are a different story as they actually shoot at you. You get points for every person you save, assuming you survive the mission. Additionally, you get bonus for unused time, so there is an incentive to act fast and efficiently. You have an option of sort of an afterburner to help you with that. This makes you move faster, but it does not affect turret speed, which is unfortunate as it is too slow and too fast at the same time. What I mean by that? Well, turret is moving a bit too fast for you to take an accurate aim for long distance shots, and at the same time it is moving very slowly for efficient movement. It takes ages to make sharp turns, and turning around, well, that's truly majestic. Anyway, since the environment lacks any sort of individuality, it is easy to get lost in the level. This may be, or should I say often is, quite frustrating, especially in cases when you are running short on time. You are equipped with something of a proximity radar that displays people and enemies, so there is something to counter that, but this radar is not very readable and it does not show any walls. So while it will tell you where the people are, you still have to figure out yourself how to get there. One thing it's actually useful for is checking if there is an enemy just around the corner. The game consists of 20 levels. Difficulty varies a lot, and even further in the game you will find easy ones. I personally found only 2 challenging levels in the game, number 16 and 19. There is no saving state, but you can choose the starting level from the ones you've reached before. This is a good option, as completing this game in one go is not that easy, especially with this clunky turret steering. What I like about this game? Well, first I really like the general idea. Saving hostages is way more interesting than pressing buttons. Also, mission briefings are fun to read. Death animations are nicely done, and the fact that your handler gets angry if you do not perform, well, that is also a nice touch. Did I mention the nuclear mushroom? Well, that one is also nice. What I didn't like about this game? Well, generic level graphics make all levels look similar. I mean, this is a cave, and this is a cathedral, while this is a lab. Can you see any difference? Well, me neither. Sure, it's a technical limitation of the game engine, I get that. It's just that in this case, this limitation really affects the gameplay a lot. There are no textures on the walls. Apart from the enemies, nothing else moves. There are no doors, levers, and so on. Just empty corridors with walls in various colors. Another thing I didn't like is the proximity scanner. It's a bit too hard to read. Would I recommend it? Well, not to everyone. If you'd like to experience an early FPS shooter, then sure, check it out. But if you'd like to have fun, then this game may not be very good at delivering that. Not unless you possess an unconventional perception of what is fun and what is not. So, proceed with caution. And that would be all for this episode. As usual, I'll post a long play within a few days. See you next time.